Hello students, we revise the reaction turbine. Before going to the reaction turbine, please tell me that what is hydraulic machines. And before going to the hydraulic machine, please tell me that the machine. Machine is a device which convert one form of energy into another form of energy. And hydraulic machine is a device which convert hydraulic energy into another form of energy or another form of energy into hydraulic energy. That means in hydraulic machines, input form of energy is the hydraulic energy or output form of energy is the hydraulic energy. Basically, hydraulic machines are of two types. One is the pumps or another is the turbines. In turbine, the hydraulic energy is converted into the mechanical energy. And further, that mechanical energy is converted into the electrical energy. But in case of pumps, the mechanical energy is converted into hydraulic energy, and before your mechanical energy is converted by electrical energy. So turbines are of two types, impulse and reaction. We have already seen the impulse turbine. Impulse turbine, at inlet of the impulse turbine, the energy, what means water energy, is in the form of kinetic energy. But in case of reaction turbine, the inlet form of energy, the input energy is the kinetic as well as pressure energy. And that pressure energy is converted into the kinetic energy. As the water flows through the runner, a part of pressure energy goes on changing into kinetic energy. Thus the water flows through the runner is under pressure. The runner is completely enclosed in airtight casing and runner is always full of water. The radial flow turbines are those turbines in which water is flowing in radial direction. In radial flow turbine, water is flowing in the radial direction. That means water is flowing towards the center of axis of rotation or away from the center of axis of rotation of the shaft. The water may flow radially from outward to inward, means towards the axis of rotation is the inward flow turbines, or from inward to outward means the outward flow turbines. If the water, see the same thing. If the water flows from outward to inward through the runner, the turbine is known as inward radial flow turbine. If the water flows from inward to outward, the turbine is known as outward radial flow turbine. Okay. Important reaction turbines are Francis and Kaplan and propeller turbines. The main parts of the radial flow reaction turbine are the four. First is the casing, second one is the guide mechanism, third one is the runner, fourth one is the draft tube. From here you will get the idea of the reaction turbine. This is the water from penstock is the flow like this way, and this is the casing. This is the outer circumference is the casing. That means the casing is the used for hold the water in closed body. And this is the runner. This is the runner. This is the inner part this is the runner, and this is the guide vane. These are the guide vanes, and this is the runner. Means this red part is the runner and this is the green part is the guide vane. The water from penstock is coming like this way. like this way. Some part of the water is moving towards the guide wheel or guide vanes. As the water moves forward, the quantity of water is going to decreases. As the water moves forward, the quantity of water is going to decreases because some amount of water is moving inside towards the guide wheel, towards the runner through the guide wheel. This green part is the guide wheels. On that guide wheels, fixed guide blades are provided. Fixed guide blades are provided. These are the guide blades. By adjusting the distance between the guide blades, we are control the flow rate. We are adjusting the distance between the guide blades and controls the flow of water through the guide blades. From this pivot point, we are changing the guide blade angle. In Pelton wheel there is the nozzle angle, but here is the alpha is the guide blade angle. Guide vane angle. Blade means vane angle. Okay. These guide blades are only glides the water towards the runner. These are used for the shockless entry of water towards the runner. When they are not used, when they are used, at that time shockless entry will be possible towards the runner. And this is the runner. These are the vanes on the runner. So runner is rotated by the pressure energy or kinetic energy of that water. And this is the shaft. Again the shaft is rotated. Means when water is flowing through the penstock, it comes like this way, and this way is moving towards the guide vanes, and the after that water move towards the runner, and the runner is rotated. So finally the shaft is rotated, This is the casing. This casing is of spiral shape or volute or scroll type casing. Spiral, volute or scroll type casing. The area of the casing goes on decreasing. Why? Here decreasing area of casing is used. Here area is larger, here area is the smaller. Why this type is used? Because discharge is equal to area into velocity. As the water moves forward, at that time discharge is decreases, flow rate of water is decreases, means amount of water is going to decrease because some amount of water moves inward. At that time, when we are decreasing the area, we are maintaining the velocity is equal to constant. Okay, discharge जैसे जैसे डिस्चार्ज डिक्रीज हो रहा है वैसे वैसे एरिया भी डिक्रीज हो गया तो ही हम वेलोसिटी को कांस्टेंट मेंटेन रख सकते हैं. दैट्स व्हाई इन केस ऑफ केसिंग द एरिया इज डिक्रीजेस. दिस इज द डिक्रीजिंग एरिया. All of you, I hope all of you understand. Okay, one by one we see the main parts of the reaction turbine. As mentioned that in case of reaction turbine, casing and runner are always full of water. Casing and runner is always full of water. The water from the casing and runner is always full of water. The water from penstock enters the casing is of spiral shape in which area cross section of casing goes on decreasing gradually. Area cross section of casing is decreasing gradually. The casing completely surrounds the runner of the turbine. The casing completely surrounds the runner of the turbine. The casing as shown in figure is made of spiral shape. The casing as shown in figure is made of spiral, scroll or volute shape. so that water may enter the runner at constant velocity through the circumference of the runner. The casing is made of concrete, cast steel or plate steel. The second part is the guide mechanism. It consists of stationary circular wheel all round the runner of the turbine. The stationary guide vanes are fixed on the guide mechanism. The guide vane allow the water to strike the vanes fixed on the runner without shock at inlet. These guide vanes are used on the guide wheel to provide the water without shock. Also, by suitable arrangement, the width between two adjacent vanes of guide mechanism can be altered so that amount of water striking the runner can be varied. The distance between two guide vanes can be varied from that amount of water flow inside the runner is varied. Runner. It is circular wheel on which series of curved vanes are fixed. This red color part is the runner. This is circular wheel on which series of curved vanes are fixed. The surface of the vanes are made of very smooth. The surface of that vane is made of very smooth because we get the friction loss is less when the water flows. The radial curved vanes are so shaped that the water enters and leaves the runner without shock. The runner are made of cast steel, cast iron or stainless steel. They are keyed to the shaft. The runner is keyed on the shaft. Fourth component is the draft tube. The draft tube is provided here. The draft tube is provided here in between the shaft and the tail race. The pressure at exit of the runner of reaction turbine is generally less than the atmospheric pressure. The pressure at exit of the turbine is generally less than the atmospheric pressure. So what will be happen when the pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure? At that point cavitation will take place or backflow of water will also take place. Backflow of water is rarely take place. That's why draft tube is provided to create the negative head. The water at exit cannot be directly discharged to the tail race. A tube or pipe of gradually increasing area is used for discharging water from the exit of the turbine to the tail race. From turbine to the tail race. This tube is increasing area is called as draft tube. The draft tube. The next one, the radial flow turbines are basically of inward flow and outward flow. See, this is in inward flow turbine, the water is moving towards the outward to inward. Water is moving from outward to inward, means water is moving towards the axis of the rotation. At that time, first one is this part is the guide vanes. In inward radial flow turbine, outer part is the guide vanes. The inner part is the runner. Inner part is the red color part is the runner. This part is the guide vanes and this is the runner. As the water moves from the guide vanes to the runner and the runner is start rotating and this shaft is also rotating. The runner is rotating, that's why their centrifugal force is created in outward direction. That's why their centrifugal force is created in outward direction and water is moving towards the inward direction. So there is less race of the turbine will take place because negative centrifugal head is created here. That's why turbine is balance itself. That's why turbine is balance itself. Means water is coming from outer periphery and discharge from center. Water is coming from outer periphery and discharge from center. This is the next one is the outward radial flow reaction turbine. In outward radial flow reaction turbine, water inlet is at center and outlet is at circumference. Means water is flowing from inward to outward. Water is flowing from inward to outward. That means water is flowing from away from the center. That means water is flowing from away from the center. यहाँ पे वाटर क्या हो रहा है, अवे फ्रॉम द सेंटर फ्लो हो रहा है. दिस इज द डायमीटर D1, दिस इज द डायमीटर D2. एट दैट टाइम व्हेन वाटर इज इनलेट, एट दैट पॉइंट विच पार्ट विल टेक प्लेस? एट दैट टाइम व्हेन वाटर इज इनलेट, विच पार्ट विल टेक प्लेस? रनर और गाइड व्हील्स. एट इनलेट ऑफ वाटर विच पार्ट? गाइड व्हील और रनर. एट दैट point guide wheel will be present. Means water is flowing from inward to outward. That means guide wheel is inward, inside. Guide wheel is the inside and runner is outside. Runner is outside. But in case of inward flow turbine, water is flowing from outside to inside. Outside to inside. At that time guide wheel will present at outside part. At that time guide wheel will be present at outside part. The thumb rule is that guide wheel is present at inlet or entry of the water. Guide wheel will be present at inlet or entry of the water. Here in inward radial flow turbine, inlet of water is here. Inlet of water is here. That means inlet part, at inlet entry of the turbine, entry of the water, guide wheel is present. Here inlet of water is here. Inlet of water is here. So guide wheel is present at inside here. And here inlet of water is outside. So guide wheel is present at outside. Means water is flowing from inside to outside in outward radial flow reaction turbine. And this is the guide wheel and this is the runner. This figure shows outward radial flow reaction turbine in which water from casing enters the stationary guide wheel. Enters the casing to stationary guide wheel. The guide wheel consists of these guide vanes. Red color is these guide vanes. The guide wheel consists of guide vanes which direct water to enter the runner which around the stationary guide wheel. Stationary guide wheel. The water flows through the vanes of the runner in the outward radial direction and discharge at the outer diameter of the runner and discharge to the outward diameter of the runner. The inner diameter of the runner is inlet and outer diameter is the outlet. Okay, means water inlet will take place at inside of the guide vanes and water discharge will take place through the runner, outside part of this runner. In outward radial flow turbine, the centrifugal force is acting in the outside direction. When this runner is rotating, centrifugal force is acting away from the center. Is away from the center. At that, due to which here water also flowing away from the center and centrifugal force is acting away from the center. So positive centrifugal head is created. That's why both are flowing in same direction. That's why the turbine will race. Turbine will race means the turbine gives the sound, more sound, because of the direction of centrifugal force and direction of flow of water is in same direction. Here centrifugal force is created away from the center and water is also flowing away from the center. The u1 is the velocity pi d1 n by 60, u2 is the velocity pi d2 n by 60. Okay, this is the outward radial flow turbine. In outward radial flow turbine is the velocity triangle look like this, same triangle, but the direction is outward. This is the radius r1, this is the radius r2. Okay, we are compared both. See the velocity triangle of outward radial flow turbine. This is the runner and this is the center of the runner. This is the center of the runner. So in outward radial flow turbine, water is flowing from center to outward direction. So inside part is the inlet velocity triangle and outside part is the outlet velocity triangle. So V1 as it is velocity of water at inlet. This is alpha is guide blade angle at inlet. Theta is the runner angle at inlet. So this is V1, this is VW1, this is VF1, and this is the VR1 relative velocity at inlet. And outlet triangle is the outlet look like this. The outlet velocity is the V2 and this is the outlet flow velocity which is VF2 and this is the relative outlet velocity is VR2. Always relative velocity angle made by the relative velocity is the blade angle. Okay, that is theta and phi. And velocity of water is the at inlet angle is the alpha, at outlet is the beta. Means angle made by velocity of water at inlet V1 is the alpha, angle made by velocity of water at outlet V2 is the beta. So in between the relative velocity and absolute velocity there will be the blade velocity at outlet. Similarly here also absolute velocity and relative velocity in between the blade velocity at inlet, because of relative velocity is the absolute velocity minus blade velocity. And all of you know that that absolute velocity has two components. One is the horizontal, that is angle is the alpha, that means horizontal component is V1 cos alpha, vertical component is the V1 sin alpha. That vertical component is responsible for the flow of velocity. That's why that vertical component we are taking the VF1, and this horizontal component is the responsible for whirling of the blade. That means rotation of the blade. That's why we are taking horizontal component is the VW1. And you know that the angle made by the V1 is the alpha, and the relative velocity is in between the absolute velocity and blade velocity. So relative velocity is this and this is the outlet velocity of water, absolute outlet velocity of the water. That outlet absolute velocity has two components. Similarly, one is the vertical, another is the horizontal. The horizontal component is the V2 cos beta, that is equal to whirl velocity, and vertical component is V2 sin beta, that is equal to flow velocity. Here the relative velocity is in the direction of blade angle, that is phi, that is the blade angle phi. So VR2 is phi, and in between the relative velocity and absolute velocity is the velocity is the which velocity? U2. See the velocity triangle of inward flow turbine. Velocity triangle of inward flow turbine. Inward flow turbine. Inward flow turbine means water is moving from outside to center of the turbine, from outward to center of the turbine. Means inlet triangle is here, outside part, this is the v1 as it is similar to the outward direction. That v1 absolute velocity has two components, one is the whirl velocity, another is the flow velocity. This is the alpha, this is the relative velocity angle is the theta, and this is the velocity, absolute velocity at outlet is the v2, that angle is the beta, and relative velocity at outlet vr2, that angle is the phi. The velocity in between relative velocity and absolute velocity is the blade velocity u2, and this is the horizontal component is the vw2, vertical component is the vf2. This is the r2 and this is the r1. This is the inward flow turbine because water is moving from outward to inward, okay. When radial discharge will take place, at that time v2 is angle of 90 degree. v2 is at angle of 90 degree, that means beta is 90 degree. At that time v2 and vf2 are overlap. At that time v2 and vf2 are overlap, and vw2 becomes 0 and beta is equal to 90 degree, and this will become u2. Force exerted on series of radial curved vanes. We have to find out the force exerted on series of radial curved vanes. This is radial curved vanes, series of radial curved vanes. Okay, we have to find out force and work done exerted on series of radial curved vane. For radial curved vane, the radius of vane at inlet and outlet is different. This is the inlet radius, this is the outlet radius. Hence the tangential velocity of radial vane at inlet and outlet will not be equal. Consider a series of radial curved vanes mounted on a field as shown in figure. The jet of water strikes the vanes and starts the field rotate with constant angular speed. Let us R1 is the radius of wheel at inlet of the vane. This R2 is the radius of wheel at outlet of the field. So omega be the angular speed of the wheel. Omega is the angular speed of the wheel. Then u1 is equal to omega r1 and u2 is equal to omega r2. The mass of water striking per second for series of vanes. Mass of water striking per second for series of vanes. The m dot, that is equal to mass upon time. That means mass of water coming out from nozzle per second. Mass of water coming out from nozzle per second. That m dot is equal to rho a v1. A is the area of jet, v1 is the velocity of jet. So momentum of water striking the vanes in tangential direction per second at inlet, that momentum, all of you know that the momentum is equal to mass into velocity. Here mass is the mass of water per second and velocity is the component of velocity v1 in the tangential direction. Component of velocity v1 in the tangential direction, that component of velocity is the vw1. So mass m dot is equal to rho a v1 and component of velocity vw1. Similarly, momentum of water at outlet per second. Momentum is equal to mass into velocity. So mass is m dot and velocity is vw2. But the direction of vw2 is in the opposite direction of blade. Direction of vw2. The direction of vw2 is opposite in the direction of blade. So blade is moving in this direction and vw2 is in this direction. It is opposite to the direction of moving of blade. So we are taking the vw2 is a negative, that's why minus rho a v1 into vw2. Negative sign takes place as velocity v2 at outlet is in the opposite direction because v2 is in opposite direction of blade motion, that's why we are taking the negative sign. Now angular momentum per second at inlet, that angular momentum is equal to momentum into radius. We are finding for the inlet, so momentum at inlet into radius at inlet. Momentum at inlet we are already find rho a v1 into vw1 here, and radius at inlet is the r1. So next is the angular momentum per second at outlet. Angular momentum per second at outlet, that angular momentum is equal to momentum into radius. We are finding for the outlet, so momentum of outlet into radius at outlet. The momentum of outlet is the minus rho a v1 into vw1, and radius at outlet is the r2. This is the angular momentum per second at outlet. The torque is equal to rate of change of angular momentum. Torque exerted by water on the wheel. We are finding torque exerted by water on the wheel. That torque is equal to rate of change of angular momentum. So we are find rate of change of angular momentum is the initial angular momentum per second minus final angular momentum per second. We are already find out initial angular momentum rho a v1 into vw1 into r1 minus final angular momentum minus of rho a v1 vw2 into r2. So minus minus become plus, and rho a v1 will be common, so take outside the bracket. So torque is equal to rho a v1 vw1 r1 plus vw2 r2. Next step is the work done. Work done per second on the wheel, means work done per second on the wheel. That work done is equal to torque into angular velocity. Torque into angular velocity. Torque is equal to rho a v1 vw1 r1 plus vw2 r2, and angular velocity is the omega. So omega will take into bracket, inside the bracket. So rho a v1 vw1 r1 into omega plus vw2 r2 into omega. R1 into omega is equal to u1, and r2 into omega is equal to u2. So equation will become rho a v1 into vw1 u1 plus vw2 u2. This is for beta is less than 90 degree, means acute angle. This is for acute angle. This is for acute angle. If the beta is greater than 90 degree, means obtuse angle, at that time, so middle sign is the minus. Work done per second will become rho a v1 vw1 u1 minus vw2 u2. The general equation for work done per second on the wheel is equal to rho a v1 vw1 u1 plus minus vw2 u2. If the discharge is radial at outlet, then beta is equal to 90 degree. Discharge is radial at outlet, at that time beta is equal to 90 degree, and work done becomes rho a v1 into vw1 u1, because beta is equal to 90 degree, at that time vw2 is equal to 0. This vw2 is equal to 0, at that time rho a v1 vw1 u1. So work done is equal to rho a v1 vw1 u1. When beta is equal to 90 degree, at that time vw2 is equal to 0. Hydraulic efficiency. In Pelton wheel also we see the hydraulic efficiency is the runner power upon water power. The runner power is equal to work done by the water on the runner or on the wheel, that is equal to runner power is the rho a v1 vw1 u1 plus minus vw2 u2. This is the runner power. Work done per second, and water power is equal to rho g qh. Q is equal to a v1. Q is the continuity equation. Q is equal to area into velocity, a v1 into gh. So rho a v1 rho a v1 get cancelled. Hydraulic efficiency is equal to vw1 u1 plus minus vw2 u2 divided by gh divided by g. G is the acceleration due to gravity. So hydraulic efficiency when beta is less than 90 degree, at that time vw1 u1 plus vw2 u2 divided by gh. When beta is greater than 90 degree, at that time middle sign is the negative, vw1 u1 minus vw2 u2 divided by gh. And hydraulic efficiency is equal to vw1 u1 divided by gh when beta is equal to 90 degree. When beta is equal to 90 degree, at that time vw2 is equal to 0, That's why equation will become VW1 U1 divided by GH. This VW2 term will get cancelled when beta is equal to 90 degree. This RP is the runner power, WP is the water power. Runner power is power delivered by water to the runner. That means power given by water to the runner is the runner power. Definitions. The following terms are generally used in case of reaction radial flow turbine, which are defined as. These terms are only for reaction radial flow turbines. The speed ratio is defined as Ku is equal to U1 by square root of 2gh. That speed ratio K suffix U is equal to U1 by square root of 2gh. U1 is the tangential velocity of the field at inlet. U1 is the tangential velocity of field at inlet, that is equal to pi d1 n by 60. d1 is the diameter of runner at inlet. d1 is the diameter of runner at inlet, and h is the net head on the turbine or net head on the runner. Flow ratio Kf, K suffix F. Flow ratio is defined as the ratio of velocity of flow at inlet Vf1 to the velocity given square root of 2gh is known as flow ratio, or it is given as K suffix F is equal to Vf1 square root of 2gh. That Vf1 is the flow velocity at inlet and h is the head on the turbine. Third definition is the discharge of the turbine. Discharge is equal to area into velocity. So area is the circumferential area of the runner, pi d1 b1 at inlet, and for outlet area is pi d2 b2, and velocity for inlet is the, here for discharge we are considering flow velocity. So inlet velocity is the Vf1 and outlet flow velocity is the Vf2. So discharge is equal to pi d1 b1 is the circumferential area into Vf1 is the flow velocity. For outlet, pi d2 b2 into Vf2 is the outlet flow velocity. So d1 is the diameter of runner at inlet, b1 is the width of the runner at inlet, Vf1 is the velocity of flow at inlet. So d2 b2 Vf2 are corresponding values at outlet. If the thickness of vane are taken into consideration, then the area through which flow takes place is given by pi d1 minus nt. If the thickness of wheel we are considering, at that time area of flow is reduces by the thickness. That when we are taking n number of vanes, so multiply by thickness into n. That n is equal to number of vanes and t is the thickness of each vane. So area is reduces by n into t terms. So Q is equal to pi d1 minus nt into b1 into Vf1. This is the discharge when the thickness of fan is considering. Fourth one is that the head on the turbine is given by H is equal to P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g. This is by using the Bernoulli's equation. Head is equal to P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g. And that P1 is the pressure at inlet and V1 is the velocity at inlet. Rho is the density, that g is the acceleration, and this g also is the acceleration. Fifth is the radial discharge. This means the angle made by absolute velocity with the tangent of the wheel is 90 degree, and that means the beta is equal to 90 degree, and the component of whirl velocity is 0. When beta is equal to 90 degree, at that time whirl velocity is equal to 0 and absolute velocity is the making 90 degree angle with the tangent of the wheel. We already see in that Pelton wheel also. Radial discharge, at that time beta is equal to 90 degree and VW2 is equal to 0. So when radial discharge at inlet, at that time alpha is equal to 90 degree, at that time VW1 is equal to 0. Sixth one is the if there is no loss of energy when water flows through the vane is equal to h minus, at that time head is equal to h minus v2 square by 2g is equal to 1 by g into vw1 u1 plus minus vw2 u2. We take a one problem on reaction turbine. An inward flow turbine, reaction type with radial discharge, note down, radial discharge means beta is equal to 90 degree, with an overall efficiency of 80%. 80% is the overall efficiency is required to develop 150 kilowatt. To develop 150 kilowatt means output power or shaft power, that is equal to 150 kilowatt. The head is 8 meter, means h is equal to 8 meter. Peripheral velocity of the field is 0.96 square root of 2 gh, means u is equal to 0.96 square root of 2 gh. The radial velocity of flow is 0.36 square root of 2 gh. Radial velocity is equal to 0.36 square root of 2 gh. This is the radial flow velocity, 0.36 square root of 2 gh. The field is to make 150 rpm. The speed is equal to 150 rpm. The hydraulic losses in the turbine are 22%. The hydraulic losses in the turbine are 22% of the available energy. Hydraulic losses is 22%, that means hydraulic efficiency is 100 minus 22, that is 78%. Determine the angle of guide blade at inlet, means alpha. Fill vane angle at inlet, means theta. Determine a diameter of the fill is d1 and d2. Width of the fill at inlet means b1. Overall efficiency 80%. Power developed is 150 kilowatt. Head h is equal to 8 meter. Peripheral velocity u is equal to 0.96 square root of 2 gh. Radial velocity of flow is equal to vf1, that is 0.36 square root of 2 gh. Field speed n is equal to 150 rpm. Hydraulic losses in the turbine are 22%. That means hydraulic efficiency is 100 minus 22, that is the 78%. So hydraulic efficiency is 78%. Angle of guide blade at inlet is we have to find out, that is alpha. Fill vane angle at inlet is theta. Diameter of fill at inlet is the d1. Width of the fill at inlet is the b1. So here inward flow turbine is velocity triangle is like this. We have already seen that. Discharge is radial. That means beta is equal to 90 degree. So beta is 90 degree. At that time Vw2, world velocity at outlet, is equal to 0. So V2 is equal to Vf2, and this is the angle beta. So this is the U2, and this is the relative velocity at outlet Vr2. And the inlet is the absolute velocity at the inlet is the V1, and this is two components. First is the world velocity, second is the flow velocity, and this is the relative velocity. Relative velocity always in the direction of blade angle is the theta, and this is also relative velocity at outlet is the phi, that is the blade angle at outlet. This theta is blade angle at inlet. Alpha is the vane angle, guide vane angle at inlet. In Pelton wheel, alpha is the nozzle angle. Here nozzle is not that. That's why alpha is the guide vane angle at inlet. Alpha. U1 is equal to 0.96 square root of 2 gh is given. Here g is the acceleration 9.81 and h is the head given 8 meter. So U1 is the 12.02 meter per second. Radial velocity of flow, that is flow velocity, Vf1 is equal to 0.36 square root of 2 gh. 0.36 is equal to square root of 0.36 into square root of 2gh, that g is 9.81, h is the 8 meter. So Vf1 is equal to 4.5 meter per second, where Vw1 and Vw2 are whirl velocities at inlet and outlet as given in the turbine. So radial discharge, already told you that beta is equal to 90 degree. So Vw2 is equal to 0. Vw2 is equal to 0. When beta is equal to 90 degree, hydraulic efficiency is equal to Vw1 U1 by square root of Vw1 U1 by GH. Vw1 U1 by GH. So hydraulic efficiency is 78%, that means 0.78. That is equal to Vw1, we have already find out 12.02, and U1 is equal to 12.02, Vw1 as it is, and G 9.81, H is the 8. So Vw1 5.092 meter per second. First we find out the inlet angle or angle of guide blade at inlet, that is alpha. So from inlet velocity triangle, tan alpha is equal to, what is tan alpha? Tan alpha is the opposite side upon adjacent side. Opposite side is the Vf1 and adjacent side is the Vw1. So tan alpha is equal to Vf1 upon Vw1. That Vf1 is the 4.5, Vw1 5.092. Alpha is angle 41.46. 41.46. Next is the field vane angle at inlet. Field vane angle at inlet means blade angle at inlet, that is equal to theta. We have to find out the theta from inlet velocity triangle. Tan theta is equal to opposite side Vf1, opposite side Vf1 upon adjacent side. Adjacent side, what is adjacent side? Vw1 minus u1. This much is the adjacent side, Vw1 minus u1. So tan theta is equal to Vf1 upon u1 minus Vw1. So put the values and we get the theta is equal to 33 degree. Diameter of field at inlet d1. We have to find out diameter of field at inlet. We have the value of u1. So u1 is equal to pi d1 n by 60, pi d1 n by 60. So arrange the equation in terms of d1. d1 is equal to 60 u divided by pi n. 60 u is equal to 12.02 and n is equal to 150 rpm. So d1 is equal to 1.53 meter. Diameter of field at inlet d1 is equal to 1.53 meter. Width of the field at inlet b1. Width of the field at inlet b1, that we have to find out from overall efficiency. Overall efficiency is the shaft power upon water power. Shaft power is given 150 kilowatt and 150 into 10 raised to 3, and water power, you know that the rho g qh. Overall efficiency is 80%, means 0.8. 150 into 10 raised to 3 is shaft power. Density of water rho 1000, G 9.81, Q as it is, H is equal to 8 meter. So Q is equal to 2.389 meter cube per second. So discharge Q is equal to, Q is continuity. What is continuity equation? Q is equal to area into velocity. Area pi d1 b1, and velocity is the flow velocity Vf1. Q already find 2.389. Pi d1 is the 1.53 meter, b1 is we have to find out, and Vf1 is the 4.5. So b1 is equal to 0.11 meter.